Dan, let's switch gears here for a quickfire segment before we wrap up.
Sure.
What is one of the coolest facts or surprising insights that you've uncovered through research?
I would say the coolest fact that I have uncovered is that when we think about how physicians deal with patients, that one of the last things they consider is how the patient thinks. They're always focused on how the patient physically feels. They rarely focus on thinking. So they always miss anxiety. They always miss consternation. They always miss silence. They always think this is just a great experience. They didn't say anything. They were really focused on what I was saying. Like, no, they were staring at you because they were terrified. And they didn't say anything because they're super anxious. And you need to pick up on that. And you need to have techniques that allow you to do that. That's one of the coolest things in healthcare that we saw. And he explained it to doctors. They're like, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, there was that one. Oh my goodness, this happens all the time, doesn't it? Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if we'll see that change over time, because obviously the conversation around anxiety and mental health has definitely exploded as a result of COVID. So perhaps we'll see that shift over time. If you could give one piece of advice to chief marketing officers about market research, what would it be?
That there isn't just one way to skin that cat. And many times I've said to CMOs, if you're looking at understanding what your market is, you have to do two things. You have to explore for understanding and then validate for prioritization. If you're just going to talk with your customers, you're never going to be able to prioritize. If you just validate and prioritize, you don't have any idea what you're validating because you didn't go to the market to find out what the hypotheses were. So it's always do both. And it doesn't have to be quantitative and qualitative research that does it. You can do a search for on AI about, hey, how do these customers think? Use that as a basis and then figure out, here's what I know and here's what I don't. What I don't know, do I not know it enough? Do I know it enough where I can validate it, or do I not know it at all and need to go out and explore it? Those are the kinds of things that need to be, that CMOs really need to get, is do both, explore and validate. Don't just do one.
What's a market research trend that you think will dominate here in the next year or so?
I can tell you which one I don't think will, for sure,
Okay.
and that's AI. I think AI has seen it run its course in market research. We were all very excited and scared, a lot of consternation about how it's going to replace my job and everything else. Well, now that it's settled, people are starting to see, oh, it really doesn't do all this. It only does these things. And the shine is starting to wear off. We're not seeing AI in everything anymore. We're now just seeing it in certain names and certain institutions and certain products. So I think one thing that's not going to happen is AI. I think an area that's going to start to grow even more is experiential marketing. So there's a lot of emphasis now on satisfaction and all of those performance indicators, but now we're starting to see, well, no, it's the experience that drives it. And it's always been there, but now we're starting to see, and this goes beyond CX. So I don't mean the customer experience in terms of I went here. There's certainly a value in that. But what we're really talking about is, how does that make you feel? How does that add to your life? Much more about the motivations, which at the beginning of the show, I said that it has to be below at the basis to understand behaviors and understand performance. So I think those are the two, or that's the one big area. Experiential research is going to become even more important as we move forward.
Great. Last question.
Yeah.
What's one question every marketer should ask their audience?
What's it going to take to get you to buy my product? That's really it. And it's not, note I didn't say, what are the benefits? Note I didn't say, why won't you buy my product? It's, what's it going to take for you to buy my product? Now, we obviously put it in much more elegant terms.
Right, of course.
At the end, it's, what's it going to take for you to buy my product? That's the ultimate question that any marketer should be asking.
Love it. Well, Dan, this was a real pleasure. I know I learned a lot today. Thank you for being here. How can listeners get in touch with you?
So if listeners want to get a hold of me, there's two ways they can do that. They can send me an email to Reilly, DREILLY, at srg.com, or they can visit our website, www.srg.com, and send us some comments there. But yeah, if anybody has any questions or follow-up, we're more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, Dan is a wealth of information, so certainly reach out to him and he will get your market research initiatives off on the right track. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the conversation today, do us a favor and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for being part of the Health Marketing Collective, where strong leadership meets marketing excellence, because the future of healthcare depends on it. We'll see you next time.